What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now, Back to the Past. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to rank the top 3 scenes from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. To prepare for Jedi Survivor, I think Fallen Order is a fantastic game that really has a couple standout moments. So let's go through this, starting out at number 3, and I'm actually going to say the opening. So this would involve just the introduction to Cal, his friend slash worker Prof, and then their job, and also getting caught, right? So Cal has to save Prof using the Force. Obviously, that doesn't go so well, and mainly the scene I'm talking about is when Prof kind of gives himself up to deflect away from Cal. So the Inquisitors are there, they're searching for this Jedi, and then he goes on a little monologue talking about how things were a whole lot better before the Empire got involved, and then he's killed off, right in front of Cal by the second sister that we find out later to be Trilla, where Cal then reveals himself to be a Jedi. I think this is an incredible just opening scene. I think it gets you in a familiar setting because it feels very Clone Wars / Revenge of the Sith, and in fact, those are the ships that those two are working on in the first place, and then you get the first real threat kind of right away. I think it makes Prof, who's in this game for maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, immediately actually one of the better characters, not just in this game, but just in Star Wars. He comes across very, very likable, somebody that has been through the thick of things with Cal, and someone who's willing to kind of, as he does, deflect or cover for his friend. Obviously, he gets him killed, and that also sets up Cal as a pretty strong character just in the beginning, and that's obviously not including what you're about to go through with Cal. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to say it's the Order 66 flashback. So there's several flashbacks throughout this game where Cal starts to kind of rediscover the Force, right? I think actually a pretty clever mechanic, kind of a concussion-like thing, right? He doesn't remember certain things, but it's basically because he's distanced himself, cut himself off, however you want to say it, and he relearns a lot of the skills that he was able to do back when he was just a Padawan. But the big scene, of course, is the conclusion to those flashbacks. So I think we all knew where it was going, but just seeing it in front of our eyes, hearing the music, by the way.
Override just ahead. Must activate if we're to escape.
Yes, Master.
We have to pull pin in the airlock. Send back up. Darren's pole is on the other side of that door. Yeah, but he won't be getting through.
It's absolutely incredible. It brings you back to the Revenge of the Sith kind of vibes. It brings you back into that sadness, obviously seeing the clones turn. And one thing that I always find very cool about Star Wars, and they've done it really well kind of historically, is always finding new ways to make Order 66 impactful. I think Revenge of the Sith did it incredibly good, originally, but then we've had kind of multiple iterations. We had it in The Bad Batch. We had it with Ahsoka, right, with Clone Wars. They found a way to say, okay, well, there's random Jedi kind of everywhere. Let's take a look at just their little experience when all this stuff went down. And you can take the music, which, they do here, and it just builds that tension, and it just builds that, I guess, sense of dread, right? Because we know how this goes. We know generally how these situations go. Very few Jedi got away when their clones turned on them. And so to see it all playing out in a video game, I think they did an incredible job, both of living it, where you're kind of sneaking around and, you're hearing the clones talk to each other, trying to find you and your master, but then also some of the incredible cutscenes that this game puts together. This is easily one of the best moments in the game. Now, my number 1 scene is going to be the Vader scene. It kind of has to be. It's such a great scene, such a great moment. One interesting side story that people may or may not have known, and this upset a lot of people, back when Fallen Order came out, very soon after, they really didn't let this game breathe all that much, and then EA started dropping trailers. Well, of course you're going to drop trailers for the game, right? Get people excited for the game. But as it went on, and we're talking like just a few weeks, if not like a month or less after this game release, they started dropping TV spots, so shorter clips, and Vader was in it. I think what makes that scene special is not knowing, right? If you know, yeah, it's still going to feel very powerful, and we'll talk about some of the intricacies with that scene. But if you don't know what's about to happen, and I didn't, I played the game day 1, I probably got to that Vader scene day 3, 4, 5. I had predicted, I believe, that Vader was going to be in this game. I think I made a theory video talking about it. So I thought it was possible. But yet again, when you're playing through the game, and I think Trilla is a good villain, I think what they did with her and the Inquisitors in general was good. You didn't really need Vader. You truly didn't. So as you go through the game, you kind of forget about it. And it's like, well, I kind of predicted Vader was going to be in it, but I didn't know for sure. And then all of a sudden he appears. Let's listen to this scene and let's just watch it really quickly.
That doesn't look good.
It isn't. It's him.
You have failed me, Inquisitor.
Avenge us!
So I get chills to this day. I'm almost positive I got chills back then because I just think his entrance, hearing the breathing, seeing Trilla's face really start to like change of like, oh dear God, this is bad. All of that stuff happening, just one thing after the next, is so cool. So his entrance has got to be one of the cooler entrances, not just in Star Wars media, I guess Star Wars games, Star Wars media in general, but kind of just in all time, right? Because he's such an iconic character, such a larger-than-life character, and his entrance in this game is phenomenal. And then I would say more than anything, the fact that they made him a complete badass is what made this entire ending very special, because I guess you could have had us fight him. Star Wars The Force Unleashed, I mean, they did it, and they kind of went their own little fan fiction-y way of, you know, being able to take out Vader and all that. This game, obviously, taking it pretty darn seriously, you don't stand a chance. Now, obviously, you get some cutscenes where, you know, you hold your own, and you end up escaping. So, with the help of all three of you, I mean, you could somewhat manage. But by yourself, and just the way the cutscenes play out, Vader is imposing, right? You're not going to be able to take him. In fact, you can't land a single hit. And the game, like, wanted you to know that. As soon as it lets you go freely, it's you, Vader, and the objective is really to get out of there, is to run, because you can't actually touch him. You can only damage him through, again, some of the cutscenes of characters doing some pretty clever stuff. So I thought that entire ending was phenomenal. I think the ending with the holocron is actually kind of rushed, like the official maybe last 3-4 minutes of the game. But Vader's entrance is, again, not only the best scene, I think, in the entirety of this game, but also one of the better scenes in just all of gaming. The chills, the atmosphere, the music, again, that you hear, his voice, breathing, right, is so good. They deserve a lot of credit. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are your favorite scenes from this game? Make sure you're all subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.